Adam Collins and Mike Hussey. It's Crick Buzz Chatter here at Bellerive, the first day of Ashes Test cricket at this grand old ground. And I'll tell you what, Australia did pretty well after being 12 for 3. Enter Travis Head, his fourth Test ton, probably his best yet. Exceptional counter-attacking Test cricket.
It was an unbelievable innings. You know, I thought back to his 150 at the Gabba. He could come in and play with such freedom because of the hard work that Labuschagne and Warner had done earlier in the day. But this innings, he had to come in and play under enormous pressure when Australia was in a lot of trouble, and he still had the courage to play with that aggressive mindset. It's not easy to do, but he made batting look a lot easier than all of the other Australian batsmen were finding. So it was an unbelievable innings. It just put so much pressure back on the English bowlers. They started to lose their line and length because he was looking to be so aggressive, and he was the one that could time the ball so nicely. Probably the mistake they made, they just got a little bit wide to him. He's so strong, square of the wicket, off both the front and the back foot. But in my view, that's an even better 100 than the first one at the Gabba. Yeah,
you see him bat the way he did today, and he just looks like he could be a transformative superstar for Australia. He's not had that kind of career yet, though, has he? He's a bit in and out of the team, blowing a little bit hot and cold, but it feels like through the course of the last couple of months, he's taken another big step, and having to miss the last test with a positive COVID case, I suppose there was yet more pressure on him today, and he really delivered.
Yeah, he certainly did. I think that consistency is something that he's been craving and working really hard on over the last 2 years. Yes, he's been criticised in the past for looking good and making a quick 30 or 40 and then playing a loose shot and getting out. So I think he's tried to tighten up his technique, still maintained his positive stroke play, but just tried to do it on a more consistent basis. And we're starting to see some consistency from him. You think, you know, he's 100 in the first test, a very good half century at Adelaide, and now this 100 today. Wow, you know, Australia's found their number 5.
A couple of fascinating partnerships. The one with Labuschagne, I mentioned 12 for 3 or 3 for 12, depending on where you went to school. The very fact that they had the presence of mind to realise that this pitch, which was green and was doing plenty for Robinson initially, especially, and Stuart Broad, that the best way to get on top of England was actually to really go at them. Now, that takes experience, doesn't it? It's cricket IQ.
Yeah, certainly, and courage. It's not easy to do that when your team's in trouble. But I think they got the feeling where if we just try and hang in here and survive and try and take the shine off that ball, there's going to be a ball that's got our name on it. So let's go back at England. Let's put pressure back on them with some daring stroke play and try and hit them off their length. And it really worked today. You know, there was some unbelievable shots played. Labuschagne, he was charging Stuart Broad in the first session of a test match, trying to hit him over the top. It was like T20 cricket there at one stage. So some amazing stroke play, some crazy cricket, you know, England right on top and then Australia bouncing back. And then the wicket of Labuschagne just before the break. I was thinking, what is going on here? This is that first session just had absolutely everything.
And the second one did too, to the extent to which Australia scoring at more than 5 and over. Head just doing as he pleases, but Cameron Green, the first time he's made a half century in the first innings of a test match. So another little building block for him. Probably threw away 100 by trying to take on the wood short ball rather than letting him get through that spell. But nevertheless, we can see this guy's going to have a long career for Australia.
Yeah, I was very happy for him. It was a brilliant innings. He's made some adjustments throughout the series, I think from a technical perspective, but also a mental perspective. I think early in the series, he was a little bit open with his feet, so he's closed them up, so he's a little bit more side on. Now, that's helping him drive down the ground and through mid-off a lot better than he was earlier in the summer. So that's been a good change for him, and he looked very good in that area. The other change has been a mental change, and I feel as though in the first couple of tests of the series, he's been quite tentative and just looking to hang in there. Today, he came out with a more positive frame of mind. He was looking to punch the ball down the ground, not just block the ball. He worked the ball off his pads with a bit more energy. And so I think that gave him a lot of confidence as well. And then by the end, he was playing with a lot of confidence and some imperious shots off the back foot, showing his power, hitting through the offside. It was very impressive to watch. He'll be disappointed to get out because there was 100 there for the taking for him. But it's a shot he plays well. He's brought up in the West at the Wacker, where there's a lot of pace, a lot of bounce. He plays that shot extremely well. So he will be disappointed, but I don't think he'll put the shot away.
As for England, they will feel as though they've thrown away a big opportunity today. We talked about the early scoreline, those 3 wickets, picking up Warner and Smith both for naught. They did drop Labuschagne on naught as well, but they also got Khawaja early. So on balance, they were flying after winning the toss and bowling. But Robinson, after the long break, pulls up lame in his first over. So they don't have that flexibility. And by the end of the day, Joe Root bowled 10 overs before the rain came with his part-time off-spin. So, and Chris Wakes went around and Mark Wood went around. It just didn't quite go right after that first 45 minutes.
Yeah, I think the injury to Robinson is a big blow. The good sign for England was he was able to come back out and field. So let's hope they can do some work on him overnight in the morning tomorrow, and he might be able to come back and bowl. But after that first break, when he came back out and he could get no pace on the ball and left after, I think, just one over, we were fearing the worst for England. So, they probably, you don't want to lose a bowler in basically the first session of a test match. It really does set you back. So, that's going to hurt them. But I think the first hour or so tomorrow is going to be fascinating cricket because England aren't out of this. If they can pick up, knock Australia over for say 250, 260, I feel as though that's, that they're well and truly in the game. Australia, their plan obviously will be to kick on over 300. If they can get over 300, 320, then they'll feel like they're in the pound seat.
All right, Huss, let's jump into the hotspot. In the hotspot, I want to go back to that partnership for the fourth wicket. When Labuschagne came out and was going at like a runner ball immediately, brought Head with him, really, initially. Head was going at better than runner ball as well. But let's drill down on Marnus Labuschagne. Made 44 and got out. How can I describe this? His front foot was on about the 10th stump line and he gets bowled around his legs by Stuart Broad, middle stump bent back. I mean, it was bewildering cricket. But just talk us through the mindset from Labuschagne and then the dismissal, which does beg a belief somewhat from the number one player in the world.
I guess initially when Marnus Labuschagne came to the crease, the ball was seaming around everywhere. He was playing and missing. He'd been dropped on 0. And I'm sure what went through his mind was, if I keep trying to play this way, I'm going to get out.
Yeah.
I can't just keep trying to hang in here. So I'm going to have to do something. I'm going to have to try and put the pressure back on the English bowlers. So he started to try and play a few shots. Daring shots. He loves to move around the crease a lot, and he really did change the momentum of the game. I think Travis Head coming to the crease and also playing positively certainly helped Marnus Labuschagne as well. I just wonder if Marnus Labuschagne went a bit too far with it. Like charging Stuart Broad in the first session. He didn't need to do that. At the other end, Travis Head was playing good positive shots, but just good cricket shots. He wasn't trying to go over the top too much. So the dismissal of Labuschagne was a really strange one. Again, he looked to be going across the crease. I think his front foot just slipped a little bit, which cost him with his balance and causing him to go further across to the offside and then to end up being on his belly. Well, we probably found it a little bit comical, but I don't think he did, as he had to get up and walk off back to the pavilion.
All right, Huss, let's press fast forward. Fast forward. In a way, hard to tell what a good score might be on this pitch, but my instinct tells me that Australia at 241 for 6 at the close are in a pretty strong position.
Yeah, the hard thing is you should never judge a pitch until both teams have batted on it. So I'm just going to reserve judgment just yet. But certainly with the brand new pink ball, there seemed to be appreciable movement. And then the other thing you've got to try and manipulate in these games is when you bowl. So Australia, for example, they'll be looking to try and bat as long as they possibly can tomorrow. So England then have to come out and face that brand new pink ball under lights. And that's really challenging. And that's where they'll see their opportunity to nip out a few early English wickets and put them under a lot of pressure. But if England can come out tomorrow, knock Australia over quickly and bat before the lights come out, then I think they'll back themselves to at least gain parity with Australia's score.
An extra half an hour tomorrow with play starting 2:30 local time. And a great day for Tasmanian cricket as well, we should say. Their first day of Ashes action. They were a wonderful host, as they will be throughout the week. All right, that's it. Cricket Buzz Chatter, Adam Collins, Mike Hussey. Follow all of day 2 on the blog, on the live scores, and we'll be here again at Stumps. Good night from Hobart.